Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be painting this cute little Pusheen. So let's get started. So let's start with a quick sketch. So what I did was I took Payne's Gray, which is a cool gray, and I took raw umber, which is like a brownish color, and I mixed those and then I diluted it quite a bit. Now we want to preserve the white of her ice cream because that part is totally white. Make sure to go around that. Now also I want to go around her mouth. The other areas should be fine since I'm going to just go over it. I'm going to have to mop some of that up later. Gotta go around the ice cream. She's a pretty uniform color, but since we're working with watercolor, we might as well take advantage of the pretty effects that you can get with watercolor and do something a little fun like wet and wet. So it helps to be able to see the dampness of your paper, and for that you'll have to have like decent lighting so you could see it. Okay, well we use the good paper today, so that's helpful. Oops. I just said I was gonna preserve her mouth and I totally messed up. Oh well, that's okay. Alright, so now we're gonna go over and kind of try to drop in some of that color that we had made. And now it's just gonna kind of run along and it's gonna do its thing. And that's the great part of watercolor. It's hard to control, but that's also where you get a lot of beautiful creativity, a lot of beautiful accidents, so to speak. Maybe something you wouldn't have intentionally done, but nonetheless it comes out really nicely, I think. Alright, now we're going to just drop that in. That'll be Pusheen's body. Now we're going to pick up some of that wetness off the bottom. And let's drop a little more of the color kind of along the edges to give a sense of depth, a little bit of shadow. Okay, I'm going to pick up some of that on the bottom. Let's make it a little rounded here. Now let's let it dry, or you could use a hair dryer to dry it faster. Okay, now we'll work on eyes and whiskers. So this warm sepia color in my Sanrio palette actually looks like a very good match. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Let's work on her eyes. Now it's hard to get eyes perfectly as round as like these stuffed animals, but that's alright. You just try your best. It helps if you have like a very good small little detail brush. And I think I still haven't found a great one yet. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I'm using, right now, this is Silver's Sable Cat's Tongue in a size 2. And I feel like it's really great, but these round eyes are very challenging. Now we're gonna do the detail here. Looks like a mustache. Cute. And then let's do kind of the mouth, the outline of the mouth, and where you're gonna see her pink tongue. She has 2 whiskers on each side. They're kind of, and the bottom one's a little bit longer. On the other side, I noticed that it does come out beyond, and it extends beyond her body. Okay, then we'll do this side. Oops. Now I accidentally went in there. Let's see if this brush works. It's called the Eradicator. I'm going to go in. So I just want it damp. And then I'm going to go in and try to lift off that paint. So that worked decently. Worked pretty well. Now I'm going to leave it at that so I don't make it worse. So this is the Eradicator, and it was from Billy Shoal, and she had a set of these sable brushes. I don't know if this is actually sable or not, but unfortunately I don't think she uses this anymore. She doesn't make that line anymore, so maybe my burnt sienna mixed in with a little bit of that warm sepia is probably a good color match. Let's take a look. But who doesn't like doing wet on wet? It's so much fun, right? I'm gonna wet my brush and I'm just gonna guide it out further. So some of it's gonna be lighter, some of it will be darker, and that keeps it from looking too flat. Let's see if I can recreate this kind of mint green. Some phthalo blue. Try some of this phthalo green light. That's pretty. Then we'll put another ball right there. I'm going to use Naples Yellow Deep. Now the popsicle stick kind of looks like Naples Yellow Deep, but maybe watered down a bit. Then here we go. I want to give more depth to Pusheen's body, so I would darken some of those areas. We'll create kind of a darker mix of what we did earlier and then go over the outline areas. Let's do her tongue. It's pretty much the same color as the pink dot, but I'm going to dilute it a little more. A little bit of red in it too. There, let's try that and see how that looks. There you go. Okay, take a little more of my Payne's Gray into here. Take some of the warm sepia, put that in. I think that was the color, right? Get a little more warm sepia. There. Now let's do a swatch test and see what it looks like. It's a little more gray. I think I want it a little more brown. So I'm going to add some more of the warm sepia along with some of that burnt sienna, and we'll add that. And I think that looks better, yeah? So go ahead and dilute that a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna go over. Now I want to soften that edge, so I'm gonna get rid of some of this. Then I'm gonna just kind of go over, soften the edge a bit. So because we're using the arches paper, we should be able to do that without breaking up the paper too much. But I've also done this on the Canson paper that's not 100% cotton, and I was able to do it just fine there too. But you will notice there is a difference. Kind of soften the edge with your damp brush. Your brush is going to want to move the pigment around. That's fine. And then continue down the line. I think it needs probably to be a little more damp than that. I wonder if a different brush would be better for this. Let's try this quill and see how that works. Get the water out. Oh, much better. This is Jackson's own line of quill brushes that they make. This is a size 0, so it's actually quite large, especially if you paint small like I usually do. But it's actually quite nice. Then let's soften that edge. You know what? I didn't make enough paint, so I'm gonna have to do that again. Payne's Gray, mix those together. And I also got a little bit of the burnt sienna from over here. Mix that together. I think that probably should be enough. And then let's see how it looks. I think it needs to be a bit browner than that. So let's go back, get a little bit more of that warm sepia. I'm going to add in a little bit of the burnt sienna. Rinse it out, go back over. Now we're going to do the same for up here. Then we'll rinse that out. Now we also have to tap it onto paper towel or a cloth because you don't want too much water, otherwise it's going to be too damp. You want it damp but not wet. And then you want to just soften that edge because you don't want to see a hard line. Getting some texture, which is great. Let's go around this edge. And so sometimes if you can't work very fast, which I have a hard time doing, I just do small sections at a time. You just want that time to be able to soften that edge. Now go back and soften. You don't want it too wet, because then what happens is what's happening right now. It gets a little streaky, and then it also picks up too much color, and then it just moves it all around. Let's go around the popsicle. Almost like you're erasing the edge of the line with your brush, your damp brush. Let's add in her cute little paws. Soften the edge. I think I added too much water. That's okay. I'll go over here on this side. Do some paws there. I'm gonna erase this edge here. Soften this edge here. Let's go over her paws again. We want it to be a bit darker to show up, right? I feel like I'm making a big mess, but that's okay. It's texture, right? Texture. All right, let's go right here. Just do the same on this outline here. Get out as much water as possible. And then soften that edge. If you wait too long, it's harder to soften the edge. Or if you're using like a paper that's made with cellulose, it can also be hard to soften that edge. Let's try those hands again. I don't know what the heck I did, but maybe I just leave it alone. What do you think? Have you gotten into a situation where you just kept trying to fix it and it just got worse and worse? I feel like that's what's happening here. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, let's add the cute little feet. The little beans. Pusheen has the cutest tiny feet that would never ever support an actual cat. They are little beans. Okay, I think we're all done. Here's Pusheen with her popsicle. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for more cute little watercolors.